you buy yourself a putting a pirate jersey?
Dude, it only goes up to a 42. That's not going to fit my right arm. What are you talking about? Dude, if they had a 48, I sure as heck would have got one. Welcome. It is now time for the Super Raid Podcast with your host, G and Lee. We are back for another episode of the Super Raid Podcast.
Super Raid!
That's one man G. What's going on, boss?
Oh, another day, another Kabaddi fixture.
Yeah, man. Hey, when we told y'all we were a little nervous last time, we just didn't look well enough because, I mean, it's been coming left and right ever since we talked to you guys. We had another championship get handed out, big trophy. It was the 68th Senior National Kabaddi Championship, Women's Championship in India. Dude, great tournament, man. Great tournament. I mean, all the way through, great tournament in the championship. Another nail biter, bro.
Well, that's what you want out of every championship match. You want the best two teams there, and you want them to fight as hard as they can on every single raid. Get the most out of it. It's possible. So both to go for we're all going for chips here, man. Put it all out there.
Yeah, man. I told you, like, after watching the PKO one and it being a 1-point game, I wanted all of them to match it. This one, they only came at 1 point short. It was a 2-point game. So it was still just as intense. It was absolutely insane. I mean, we'll get to that later. We're also going to get to some things that are coming up. We got the Bang Badu Cup coming up in Bangladesh. That'll be the next thing we'll be talking about. I'm getting excited about that. That'll be the 16th through the 25th, man. So, I mean, there's always Kabaddi to look forward to, dog.
That's an international tournament, too. They're letting England in there. The world is catching up. So, hey, let's do it.
I don't think we're going to get invited, though.
Well, don't worry. We'll be there soon, one of these days. With our help. With our help. We'll help spread it. We'll help get the knowledge out there, expose this game, spread the joy of it, let everyone see how much fun this sport is. And, you know, we can see what we can do.
I dig it, man. Well, let's see what we can do after this break. Whew. That was a quick break. That was really a quick break. But we are back with the Super Raid 5 Rules of Kabaddi. Number 5.
Number 5. Don't get kicked in the face. We say this every time. It's not hard. Keep your face in a good spot where that man tries to stick his foot in, either getting bonus points or making a raid legal. Watch the face. Don't get kicked in the face.
Don't get kicked in the face. Number 4. Number 4, this is a gentleman's game. So if you get kicked in the face, you're just going to have to take it. Remember, there's no chirping. There's also no violent acts of tackling or anything like that can get you in trouble, you know. This is a gentleman's game. Remember, you'll always have a chance to come back. You have a chance to come back and redeem yourself. Don't chirp because you get a green card. 2 green cards equal a yellow card. Yellow card equals sin bin. Sin bin is the start downhill. That's 2 minutes of absolutely letting your team down. Number 3.
Rule number 3. Know the rules and the lines of your Kabaddi game. As we explore this game and this sport a little bit more, we realize that there's indoor versions, there's outdoor versions, there's all sorts of things. The main one that we're really vested in is the PKL. That is an indoor version. With that, it is a straight up court. There are outside lines, there are mid lines, there are block lines, and there are bonus lines. Know where you are on this court. Know what the spot where you have to get. Know once you hit and tag a guy where you got to get back across. If you feel that you can keep going in and invade their zone just a little bit more, it's called a bonus. Get that back line, hit a bonus point, and get out of there.
Number 2. But, hey, when you get out of there, make sure you touch somebody. Because if you don't, there's no loitering allowed in the lobby. That is rule number 2. Don't loiter in the lobby. Remember, if you don't touch anybody, you can't be in there. I know it's cool to hang out in lobbies. Most times we have to go into lobbies to wait for stuff. This is the one time. Being in a lobby is a bad place to be.
Certainly by yourself. You never want to be there by yourself because then you're just out. See you later. Bye-bye.
Number 1.
And the most important rule of Kabaddi is
most important rule.
Be committed. Make sure that whatever you're going to do, make sure you do it. Don't there is no try. There, do or do not. There is no try. Make sure that you get in there and you commit. I'm going in, I'm going to touch somebody, and I'm going to get back out. Your commitment will 100% prevail over anybody else who is uncertain. If you're committed, you're going to get the job done. If not, you just toss your team a point.
And those are your 5 rules of Kabaddi. Man, I've been really excited, bro. I'm really this whole 68th Senior National Kabaddi Championship, the Women's Championship. Like I was kind of nervous at first because like I couldn't find anything, and then luckily, thank you YouTube, I was actually able to start watching the games, which made keeping up with the scores a lot easier and starting to understand what happened. For everybody who doesn't know how it goes down, this is a national tournament. It's 29 teams. They're split up into 8 pools. League play took place over the first 3 days. I mean, then you go from 29 teams to 16 teams to make it to knockout play. It was played in Haryana. They were lucky enough to have the deputy chief minister in attendance. So I assume through kind of just relating, that's about governor status for them. Because, I mean, that's going to be the deputy chief of the state, which is of their state. So, I mean, that's pretty important, man. This is a pretty high-level tournament, dude. And then, let's just go ahead and jump into the tournament.
Well, day one, we saw some really big wins to start the championship. With 29 teams, you're going to find some teams that are better than others. Ones that clearly stand out. Haryana, they won 59-19. And then Tamil Nadu, they won 53-17. Yikes.
Dude, whew. Hey, man, Haryana was the home team, and they opened it up in proper style. I mean, that's if you're at home and you're opening up a tournament, that's how you do it. I mean, I just felt bad for some teams. Though, like, is it Vidabara? Like, they had 2 games on the first day, and they're in one of the 3-team pools, and they were eliminated heading home after the first day.
Yikes. It happens. Yeah. It happens. Yeah. Sometimes, again, it's that you got to follow that main rule. Be committed. Clearly, they were not committed to staying in that tournament and getting things done.
I mean, to their benefit, I will say that they got stacked in the division with Macau Pradesh and another team that went pretty far in the playoffs as well. So, I mean, it wasn't like they were playing punks. They got stuck in a really hard pool. But that takes us into day 2. In the morning session, we saw a monster game out of one of the 3 heavyweights that really came into this, which was Indian Railways. Dude, they won 69-9.
I find that just massively hard to believe. How 69-9? How many all outs is that? And more importantly, how many times did you have all of your team on the floor? Like, wow, 69-9. You beat them by 60, a plus 60. Wow.
Yeah, man, that's plus 60. I mean, the only other big win that was that big that morning was Rajasthan, and they won 43-10. But hey, we know what else happened that morning. Tuesday morning supplied us with our only tie of the tournament. Which is surprising. That was the only tie of the tournament.
Chhattisgarh and Chandigarh.
And while their names sound similar, they are nowhere near each other geographically.
No, not even close.
So
their score was.
Their score was 33-33 was the only tie we had the entire tournament.
Well, day 2, we moved into the evening session. We have our host, Haryana's. They won a game 62-23. Indian Railways continued their winning streak. They won 40-14. And same thing with Rajasthan. They won 38-5. Man, plus 33. How do you only score 5 points in a whole game? Like,
dude, bro,
get a bonus. Like, oh my God!
You feel bad for those ladies that got beat like that. But I mean, the crazy part was after day 2, we had 13 of 16 knockout spots were already decided. I mean, every pool except for Pool F and Pool H, everybody had already been decided for. Everybody had already been decided for the knockout rounds. I mean, just a quick glance after play so far, Indian Railways was plus 86.
Haryana was plus 107.
Yeah. Rajasthan was plus 82. So I mean, yeah, there were some beatings handed out the first couple rounds, man. It didn't get close till we got to the knockout rounds. But then, hey, since we still had 3 teams to decide, we had to jump to the morning session of day 3.
And that was Goya. They won 57-32. The last fixture of the round robin, Tripura won 67-28.
That put us with the last 3 teams that were in were Chhattisgarh, Goa, and Andhra Pradesh. And that took us straight to the knockout bracket of 16. And now that we're at the knockout bracket, I think there's a couple things we need to talk about. Like when we were talking about heavyweights coming in, man, we had Indian Railways was a heavyweight, Rajasthan's a heavyweight, Himchal Pradesh. We need to talk about the fact that they won the National Kabaddi Invitational Tournament back in January. So they were pretty much favored coming into this, looking for their second win in 4 years. I mean, or second win in 4 tournaments, not 4 years because we skipped for COVID. But I mean, they're pretty much built for this, dude. So then we jumped into freaking bracket play, and once we got to knockout play, there were still some beatings.
There's still some beatings. In this Sweet 16, we'll just kind of go over a few of them. Indian Railways 58 over Andhra Pradesh 15. There was a score that was 30-22, 37-21, 39-21. Himchal Pradesh, they won 46-15 over Gujarat. That is a handy beatdown. There's a 40-28, a 15-33, and then a 48-22. So the teams that were supposed to win, they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, everybody pretty much played chalk getting into the Elite Eight, and this is where it kind of went sideways.
In the Elite Eight, we'll go over each game. Each 4 of them. Indian Railways took on Bihar. It was 33-16. Indian Railways headed to the Final 4.
Yeah, it wasn't as close as it looked, man. It just wasn't. Like
Rajasthan took on Punjab and won 30-23. That was the top half of the bracket. The bottom half, we had Haryana taking on Tamil Nadu, and it was 49-22 Haryana.
Yeah, that was not close. And Haryana sent home the last team from the south. That was the last southern team left in the tournament. That was big for them.
And our final matchup was Himchal Pradesh versus Maharashtra, and that was 27-21. So that brought us to day 4 in our Final 4.
Bro, that last matchup was super close. Like it looks like a 6-point game, but it played a lot closer than that. But that takes us to the Final 4, baby.
The Final 4.
US style, baby. It's the Final 4. You got to put your 4 fingers up. We got to relate this to how we get down in tournaments. So Final 4. You had Indian Railway, Rajasthan, Haryana, and Himchal Pradesh. Whew. And you had some battles in this round. Well, actually, you had one battle and you had
one battle and one beatdown. Indian Railways, Rajasthan, 41-17. Indian Railways just railed their way right into the finals.
Yeah, man, they were dominant all tournament. Now the Haryana Himchal game, that was a really good one. Once again, Pradesh wins another tight one, 35-32. Man, they were winning tight games all tournament. I mean,
they beat the host. They took the host out. How are you going to invite everyone over to your house? Be like, hey, why don't you come over and play a little game, and then you're just going to come over here and beat us? That's an insult.
Nah, Himchal Pradesh was, dude, they were outstanding, and that puts us in the championship game.
The ship for the chips, for the rings. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, and everybody came to the game looking good. The Indian Railway showed up in their white kit with a red, black, green stripe across the middle. Himchal Pradesh showed up with black kit with a volt front with tiger striping on it, so everybody was looking good. Everybody had their kits ready. The crazy part, like when you see these setups, it's a little bit different when you go to these tournaments because the chairs are sitting directly behind the back line. So there are certain rules that are implied in this, which it makes it speed up the game because you only have 7 seconds to get back in if you're coming back in from an out. And if it's an all out, your team has 15 seconds to get set, or the other team gets a point for every 15 seconds past not being set.
You can get in there. That's not hard. Come on, let's go.
But dude,
Let's go,
that's a
ladies.
quick 15 seconds. That's a quick turnover, man. This is for guys and women in international play. Just so everybody understands, they're not just sitting around. Like you've only got a couple seconds to get out, get back in, get out. Like you're continually moving. So I mean, we've come to the end of a 4-day tournament. So I mean, these players are exhausted. But I mean, it's time to win a ship, baby. And then
Hey,
I mean,
it's what you're there for. It's what you're there. Got
yeah.
to win those chips.
I mean, who did we have in the championship? Of course, is the number 1 seed, which was going to be Indian Railways. I mean, they had an average margin of victory in the round robin of 43 points.
And in the knockouts, they were 27.6. So they were, jeez.
Nothing close. But then you got Himchal Pradesh, and Pradesh. I mean, they're the winner of Pool B, but I mean, their round robin margin of victory is only 11 points. Which I mean, I'm saying only 11 points. It's still a 10-point win.
Only 11 points. Come on, that's
yeah. But the knockout rounds they dropped
10.
down to 10 points. I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's still 10 points. And then I mean, this game was absolutely amazing. I mean, from the beginning, I mean, it was absolutely stark. Indian jumped out to a quick lead. I mean, at I'd say about 4 minutes left in the first half, it's tied 8-8. And then all of a sudden, Pradesh goes on a freaking run. They get all out. They get a couple tackles, and at halftime, it is 16-8. So all of a sudden, you're thinking, oh, no, they're going to run away with it. No. Indian Railways did not go down like that, buddy. They came back fighting with everything they had. And with about, I'd say, almost 6 minutes left in the game, they actually were down by 1 point, 21-20. Because they actually finally pulled their first all out. Dude, they had Himchal Pradesh at one player 2 separate times before that and couldn't push the all out. Finally pushed the all out, got the score, got it close. And then, I mean, the champs showed why they were the champs on the way down. I mean, Pradesh showed why they won the Invitational earlier this year. I mean, they were just a more solid team. I mean, when it came down to it, they were the one making the plays. They were the one making all the tackles. They were the one making the raids. And, dude, when it comes down to it, they were up by 4 with less than a minute left and win by 2. 33-31. Himchal Pradesh is your 68th Senior National Kabaddi Women's Champions, bro. And that was, I mean, just wow. I mean, the game, once again, dude, it comes down to the very end of the game. Like, these matches are amazing. I mean, from an American perspective, we can only hope that games actually matter till the end. And this is one game where, bro, when you finally get to the really good teams, yeah, it matters all the way to the very last second.
Hey, they won their Sweet 16 by 31, their Elite 8 by 6, their Final 4 by 3, and their finale by 2. So to take a game, each one of those, and make them nail biters, that's fantastic. Can't ask for anything more.
Second title in the last 4 years for those ladies. I mean, they are definitely representing their school. They're definitely representing their area. Hey, speaking of which, since we're kind of getting used to things that are happening, I think from here on out, we're going to give you a little information about the champions region. Like, I think that's kind of fitting that, you know, we talk about where they're from, kind of what their nicknames are. So you kind of know we're not just telling you team names, we're actually telling you regions, because that's where these people represent. These ladies are representing their entire region, their state for Americans. And I mean, they're kind of, you know, there's some things to really be proud of. What you got, G?
I mean, it's the province of snow-laden mountains. And when we talk about mountains, you know, if we're talking American mountains, we don't really have mountains here. We have Denali. That's our biggest one. And we even keep that far, far away from us in Alaska. That's only 20,000 feet. We are talking snow-laden mountains as in the Himalayas, the Himalayas. That's where they keep the big boys. It's the land of the gods. It's where Lord Shiva hangs out. It's the land of the brave. It is a northern state. It's up there. It's host to the Dalai Lama. That's where he usually hangs out. There is a very strong Tibetan presence. And you go, Tibet? Well, why is that? Well, it's because it's right there. It's one of their neighbors. That is a Buddhist area. While most of India there's a couple different religions and strong ones. The main religion of that country is Hindi, but there's Buddhists there as well. And especially when you bump elbows and you rub, and a lot of those religions are very similar. They share some similar aspects and features, not entirely, but you know that's where that area is. There is a giant Tibetan New Year's celebration. We believe in a new year, a new celebration as we go through. In that area, the most important areas and the activities, of course, are based around the majestic mountains around you: trekking, skiing, and climbing. The thing that got me as kind of we went through these and learned them, the state is 99.5% electrified. And
Ooh,
that's a crazy number
dude, that's an
considering
insane number. That's
where
way
it
better
is.
than places Tennessee is not 99% freaking electrified. Like, that's
Alabama,
insane. Oh,
Mississippi.
dude, think about it. Seriously. We live in states that probably aren't 99.5% electrified.
Whew.
I mean, that is a very efficient number, especially for somewhere that's going to be that mountainous. Oh, speaking of that mountainous, dude, you see that video I sent you? And I know this is kind of people know that video was sent, but if you're looking for one, there's a video of Border Patrol up there in the Himalayas playing kabaddi in the snow, and it is absolutely hilarious.
I
Just go
think
Google it, and it is absolutely comical.
I think that's unfair too. With that, it's just like how we send all of our American Olympians where their training facilities. They're in the Rocky Mountains. That's the highest altitude. That's you find out, hey, why do all the Kenyans win all the major races and the marathons? Because the body does different things at altitude. So if you get the innate ability to train in that, your body handles oxygen better. It does amazing things. That's an unfair advantage that, hey, that's, look at the Sherpa people. We always claim, hey, all these people climb these mountains, not without the help of the Sherpas. So
Yeah, man. I don't know if that's really unfair though. If you got to try and like jump up through 1.5 to 3 feet of snow to step,
also,
they're kind of waddling back and forth to get out of the snow, so it's kind of funny. But yeah, they're just out there. I mean, just think about that. Like, what are we gonna do? Hey, man, y'all want to go play some kabaddi? Like, sure. Like, it's 10 degrees outside and snowing. I don't care. Let's go.
Let's go. What's a good day? What's a good day for kabaddi? Today. Every day is a good day for kabaddi.
Yeah, today is a good day for kabaddi. And on that, we'll take a break. But hey, that has been our review of the 68th Senior National Kabaddi Women's Championship. Woo! Great championship, ladies. Way to give. I mean, that was just super entertaining. See you after the break. Hey, that break was actually really long. No, it wasn't. That break was really short.
Man, what else is coming up? What else do we have going on?
Hey, man, like we said earlier, we've got the Bang Badu International Kabaddi Cup coming up this upcoming weekend. Starting March 16th. I mean, we got 8 teams invited, or 8 teams attending. I'm sorry. They invited 15. Once again, Putin is ruining it for everybody, dude. Thanks to the war thanks to the war in Ukraine, Poland will not be attending this year, which is the only non-returning team from the original 5. It's not their fault. They were trying to get there. One team that I've seen mentioned in a lot of articles that was really trying hard to get there that deserves a pat is Argentina. I've heard these dudes just ran out of sponsorship issues, but they said they've really been trying to get a squad up. So, I mean, who else going to be there, G?
Well, we got Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, in that kind of area. Then you have some a little bit further away, Malaysia, Indonesia, Sri Lanka. Even further away, you got Kenya, Iraq, and the furthest, we have the proper men from England.
Yeah, man. I was kind of surprised to see that name pop up there. But, I mean, hopefully, hey, if you're listening to this by any chance and you're on the English Kabaddi team, give us a shout, man. We would really like to talk to you guys. Really would just like to find out how these things go, how these tournaments go, how you guys got involved in this. I mean, seriously, give us a shout.
How can you reach us?
Any of the social medias, as always, hit us on Twitter, the SuperPod. Hit us on Gmail at superpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us on Facebook at Super Raid Podcast. I mean, we're everywhere, dude.
You name it, we YouTube. Got it. Hey, we want to spread this as far as we can go. This is an international game. Please reach out. If you're hearing us wherever you are in the world, even if you're not on the English team, if you're in anywhere else, hit us up. We'd love to keep you on. Tell us where you're from. Tell us how you got into this sport. Tell us how you found us. Tell us how we can find you, how we can make this all one big community.
And the Bangladesh Cup, one more thing we should mention. It's going to be two divisions of 4 teams. They're going to play round robins, be a semifinals, finals. Hopefully we'll get to catch those on YouTube. Like G said earlier, speaking of YouTube, hopefully you can listen to us on YouTube at Super Raid Podcast. Hey, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Hey, if you subscribe, we can do more content for you guys. Please like us, love us, pass it on to everybody else you know. The more we get, the more we can do for y'all. We love bringing you guys this content, but, we got to make sure that y'all are listening. Hey, you got anything else for the people, G?
I do. So with this tournament, who won the first one? Do you know?
I'd assume. Wait, yeah,
Well,
home team, right?
The home team. The home team. And it usually comes out that way. Usually the two biggest countries that have a dominance and a stranglehold over the dominance of this game, India and Bangladesh. Bangladesh, Kabaddi is their national sport. So in America, there's always an argument. Is it the NFL? Is it baseball? Is it boxing? Is it golf? There is no argument in Bangladesh. Their national sport is Kabaddi. They won the first one. So 34-28 over Kenya. Best of luck to you, gentlemen. Let's see how this one all shakes out.
Hey, and shout out to Kenya and shout out to the African Kabaddi League. I'm definitely checking y'all out. Hopefully we can get some more info. Yo, fellas, keep it going. Everybody out there, we love y'all. Kabaddi, Kabaddi, Kabaddi.
Kabaddi! On a small, sad note, but we'll throw it out there just because we want to be part of the Kabaddi community. There was a sad news to report. International Kabaddi player Sandeep Singh. Unfortunately, he is a British citizen. He's from India, but he's a British citizen. He went home to kind of organize some tournaments. Some bad stuff went down, and unfortunately, he is no longer with us. So thoughts and prayers to his family. Hearts out to you guys.
Yeah, man, hearts out, and just everybody. Violence just everywhere across the planet is something that we all deal with, and it's just senseless. Sorry.
It's senseless. Let's play Kabaddi. That's all we need. It's a gentleman's game. Let's take the rules that we learn from these games that we talk about each and every time we meet and apply them to everyday life. Be committed. It's a gentleman's game. Know what you're doing, and we can make this world a better place.
Absolutely. Hey, my man said everything we need to say, y'all. We'll holler at y'all next time.
Kabaddi.
Thank you for listening to today's show. The Super Raid podcast is produced and brought to you by Alki Lane Creative Studios, LLC. We are also a part of the Alki Lane Podcasts Network. Please give us a shout on social medias at Super Raid Podcast at gmail.com, Super Raid Pod on Twitter, and Super Raid Podcast on Facebook. We're also the Super Raid Podcast on YouTube. Hit us up on all socials. Give us a shout. We would love to hear from you. Take care.